Greetings, fashion aficionados. Today, we're stepping back in time to Victorian England. Imagine a world of gaslight and horse-drawn carriages. We're focusing on the fascinating world of Victorian fashion. Specifically, we'll delve into the dramatic silhouette of the Second Bustle Era, spanning from 1881 to 1889. The bustle, a padded undergarment designed to accentuate the rear, had a brief hiatus in the late 1870s. However, it made a triumphant return in the 1880s, bolder and more dramatic than ever before. This era wasn't just about a resurgence, it was a reinvention. The Second Bustle Era was a time of extravagance and innovation in women's clothing. Get ready to explore a world where fashion made a statement. Fasten your bonnets, and let's journey back to the era of the dramatic shelf bustle. The Second Bustle Era was all about exaggeration. The bustle, now larger and more structurally ambitious, became the defining element of a fashionable silhouette. Imagine a woman's waist cinched to extremes, her bodice tightly fitted, and her skirts cascading down to the floor. But here's the catch. The fabric didn't simply drape. Instead, it was artfully gathered and draped over the bustle, creating a dramatic shelf-like protrusion at the back. This silhouette, with its emphasis on a tiny waist and exaggerated posterior, became the hallmark of 1880s fashion. High collars, often adorned with lace or ruffles, added to the formality of the look. Rich fabrics, such as velvet, silk, and brocade, were de rigueur. Intricate embroidery, beadwork, and lace embellishments further enhanced the opulence of these garments. Creating the iconic silhouette of the Second Bustle Era was a feat of engineering. It wasn't just about the dress itself, but also about the layers of undergarments that provided structure and shape. Underneath those elaborate gowns, women wore tightly laced corsets to achieve the coveted minuscule waist. But the real star of the show was the bustle. Early versions were often constructed using a series of graduated hoops, much like their predecessors from the earlier part of the century. As the decade progressed, bustles became even more elaborate. Crinoline, a stiff fabric made from horsehair, became a popular material. Some bustles even incorporated steel frames for added rigidity. These frames, often hinged for ease of movement or at least a semblance of it, allowed the bustle to maintain its shape. The price of fashion bustles, Boon or Bane. The Second Bustle Era was undoubtedly a period of extraordinary craftsmanship and innovation in women's fashion. Dressmakers were artists, sculpting fabric and manipulating its structure to create these architectural masterpieces. However, this level of detail and craftsmanship came at a price, both literally and figuratively. Bustles were expensive to produce, and a fashionable wardrobe was a significant investment. This meant that only the upper classes could truly afford to indulge in the latest trends. Furthermore, while undeniably striking, bustles were not without their drawbacks. They were notoriously cumbersome and restrictive, making even simple movements a challenge. Imagine trying to navigate a crowded room, climb a flight of stairs, or even sit comfortably with a large, rigid structure protruding from one's backside. A lasting legacy. From Victorian England to modern runways. The Second Bustle Era, despite its relatively short span, left an indelible mark on the history of fashion. This period of extravagance and innovation pushed the boundaries of what was possible in dressmaking. Though the bustle itself eventually fell out of fashion, thank goodness for small mercies, its influence continues to resonate. Modern designers often draw inspiration from the past, reimagining historical silhouettes and details for contemporary audiences. So tell me, could imagine yourself navigating the world in a bustle? It's a question that sparks the imagination. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more intriguing journeys through the captivating world of fashion history.